It's officially over for us, boys, as one of the legends in the programming space, Mitchell Hashimoto, author of Ghostty, has just said that he is never going to go back to the Go programming language. I'm a senior machine learning software engineer at Twitch, where I've been professionally writing Go for the past 4 years, and I want to give my opinion on this and basically say, does this mean I'm also going to be swapping languages in 2025? So let's start off with who Mitchell Hashimoto is. He is an entrepreneur, and as this Yahoo Finance article says, a 25-year-old, again, this was taken 10 years ago, coding genius who was making $500,000 a year in while he was still at college. And you can see there's a bunch of different articles on Mitchell Hashimoto and how he ran HashiCorp. And since then, Hashimoto's been busy and he built Ghostty Terminal. It's a fast, feature-rich, and cross-platform terminal emulator that uses platform, native UI, and GPU acceleration. And it's really good. I've actually used it. It's really fun to use and very powerful. And he was actually on the Top Shelf podcast recently with TJ and the Primogen, where he discussed a bunch of things of how they're building Ghostty. And the title of the video is Zig is just better than Go, coupled with this really good meme of Primogen post of Mitchell Hashimoto dropping Go. So I want to kind of break down this clip in the interview. The link will be in the description down below if you want to watch the whole thing. But I think it's a very interesting perspective from someone like Mitchell on Go right now.
Like, would you write, so you've written a lot of Go, I know that.
He's written a lot of Go.
Do you think you'd write Go differently now, like after writing so much Zig? Or do you feel like, oh, Go is designed around this interface idea, so I would keep writing interfaces?
The hesitation.
Man, I've never thought about that. I don't think I could write Go again right now.
No! The pain. Oh. No, we're so done. It's over. I have to write Zig. Oh, God. Okay, Zig programming jobs. Part-time coordinator. Oh, man. Oh, now hiring ZipRecruiter. Okay, here we go.
But I assume Zig would just not be that great. Like, if you had to write a server, I would assume you'd much rather reach for Go than reach for Zig, just because of like the highly asynchronous
give us this.
nature. And Zig isn't necessarily fun, making a bunch of calls and aligning stuff.
Maybe I'm like ill or something, but I think I would just use like PHP or something.
Oh
like,
my!
I don't know.
Stop clapping.
I'm like, on one hand you have Rust and
Rust. On one hand you have Rust. You don't have Rust. Doesn't give you these. All right, Mitchell. Rust does not give you these. Rust gives you knee-high socks and those cat ear things. All right, don't even do that.
And things like Zig for the actual like performance critical like core components and
Fair, which is kind of the whole point of the video I'm trying to make here. On lower level performance optimization, when you really want to squeeze something out, Zig and Rust are actually good choices to use here. It makes sense.
That could expose C APIs and things like that. And you could guarantee safety on the Rust side, things like that. And then you have this move fast and break things web thing where I'm like, do you just want PHP or Rails?
Move fast. Come on. I have to respectfully, I have to interject here and say, I don't know, how is that possible? Moving fast? How can you not use Go? How could you possibly, with a straight face, say you're going to use something like Ruby over Go when you want to move fast? How is that, like, fathomable? Or even PHP. Like, Go would stump all of these in moving fast and moving quick and just getting something out there quick, nasty, dirty, get Uber Eats at the end of the night. That's when and why you use Go. You don't use Ruby on Rails to do something quick and fast and dirty
or something. Like, I don't know. I love Go, the community and things like that, but yeah,
the community is great. We don't really get involved in lots of this discussion here because we're too busy shipping things and lifting weights.
I'm in a weird place with it right now.
I love that not only did you just kind of just wreck Go there for a quick second.
Wreck Go.
Yeah.
That is really interesting.
No
I share some similar feelings with Go, where in some ways it feels like, I don't know, I don't get the same feelings of joy like writing Go as I'm in a similar.
Yeah, I was always a very vocal. Well, I was like very into Go and writing Go all the time. I was always a vocal
former gopher.
Anti. I don't know what the right word.
HashiCorp, written in Go.
I was always against generics.
I hate generics. Let me say this. I think generics in Go was a disaster. Go version 1.18, when generics were officially a thing in the language, was just such an L. Just a big L. I hate generics. I think another kind of L in the language was Go version 121, where they introduced iterators. I think both of those don't actually add anything to the language. I genuinely think they don't serve a purpose in making the language better, but all they do is integrate features that some whiny people wanted from other languages into Go. I think that's the only thing it did. I think they're like, okay, fine, we get it, let's add them because other languages have them. Where Mitchell, we'll talk about right now, where that's actually kind of like an anti-pattern in what makes a good programming language good.
And people took that in the craziest ways, like that I didn't understand generics, that whatever. And it wasn't that. It was just like, I guess like more generally, I hate this sort of this pattern that has emerged with programming languages where people want every feature that every other programming language has in their programming language they're using. And I think what makes programming languages special is sort of the constraints and designs they impose on you. And
yes, I think Go should have been one of these languages that stayed the way it was when it first designed. Maybe, we could make the argument that I could have introduced some different features, enums, but I really don't think any of the major features Go has released have done anything to actually push the language in a better direction. The majority of the things I love about Go have been the same things that were there since like the very first release of the language. Mitchell Hashimoto agrees with me. Hey.
So like
means something.
Go to me was great because it forced you to think how to do things without generics. And for the 1% of the time generics were the right answer, it was
I'm gonna dunk on generics right here.
Annoying, but for the 99% of the time, I think it made me write better software. And so it's sort of is and isn't like a coincidence that I stopped writing Go right when they shipped generics.
Bang. Okay, leave me a comment down below on what do you think of generics. Do you like generics? Do you think they're great? Do you agree with Hashimoto here? And what do you think of generics in Go if you've been exposed to them? Please, I'm super curious what you guys think. Make sure you comment. All leads me to a pretty simple list I want to share here on why you should use Go. And a bunch of these reasons I think are relevant to Go when it was first released and is still relevant to Go today. The main one being how simple it is to write Go. I've said this a bunch of different times. So many different engineers have said this. Go is very simple to use. And if we go back into this interview, one thing that TJ said is like he can write Go. He's written Go professionally, but he doesn't get the enjoyment out of writing Go. And I think it's because for TJ himself, he really thrives in the more technical, more deeper level languages that offer him more exploration of how to design and write something like OCaml or Zig or Rust or whatever he chooses to use. Where with Go, it's almost too simple for someone like TJ. And I've also felt this pain point with Go. Sometimes it does feel too simple. Sometimes it feels like once you've solved the problem, you just copy and paste the solution all over your code. And it kind of takes away the aspect of writing code and more of just assembling building blocks. The other reason why I like Go is the standard library. I think it is probably the best standard library in any programming language, in my opinion. I think the community and ecosystem are also very good supporting arguments for Go. I think the community is very active. I think it's actually growing a lot. I think there's lots of new content out there. I think there's lots of different people who are tackling Go and exploring Go and picking Go up. I think the ecosystem of different tooling is always evolving. I have to say the concurrency model, I think it's one of the most simplest concurrency models in tech. I think spinning up a light thread, a Go routine, and executing different things concurrently is something that Go uses and Go does so well that it's hard to argue against it, or it's hard to argue that other programming languages do it better. But if we kind of go into these last three, stability, garbage collection, compilation, stability of Go is something I value much more than some of these other points, because one of the reasons why I left JavaScript and actually left Python as my main languages was because of how fast and how quickly the ecosystem in the language moved. There'd always be these minor changes. Every update in the language would introduce breaking changes. And I say JavaScript, I mostly mean the ecosystem like React, for example, and Next. It feels like every time you use something new, it breaks it. And with Python, kind of the same thing with all these new versions coming out and these different features of Python. It does seem like the stability is a back thought, whereas with Go, stability is one of the crux point, the backbone of the entire programming language. The garbage collection here is something that is not for everyone, right? And obviously, I think Hashimoto found the limits of it, right? Go is great until you find the limits of performance and optimization, and that's due to the garbage collection. It is a garbage collected language, like so many other languages, and that's why if you are looking for lower level performance, if you're really trying to squeeze out that extra 5, 10, 20, however many percent from your code in something that's has to be fast and has to be quick, like Ghostty and Bun, solutions like Zig are made for that, right? Like, you will never create a Ghostty that's using the Go programming language that's going to be faster, quicker, and snappier than the current Ghostty version that's built in Zig. And the same argument can be made in Bun. And both of these tools, Bun and Ghostty, they have to be fast. They have to be quick. The new age of software engineers and tech adapt to what's the fastest solution and what gets them, writing code faster and with the less lag. And I'm not saying Go is going to be something that's always going to be laggy. That's far from the truth. But when you are designing a solution where the main priority is performance optimization, you will get into the argument of asking yourself, is Go the right choice for you? And I do say that lightly because a lot of the time you can get something really fast with Go and the garbage collector is going to be just fine. I think it's for those rare occasions that people that really push the boundaries that looking at Zig and Rust is more appealing. And obviously the cross compilation, I think having something that you can just compile and use on Windows, Linux, Mac, just using one command built into a language is super underrated. I mean, you just compile it and then spin it, ship it, and you're good. And I want to add some things that are built by Go. Obviously, I've mentioned I'm a software engineer at Twitch. All of Twitch is primarily built with Go. But then we have Kubernetes, Docker, InfluxDB, Prometheus, and of course, PFGLabs, a website I created that allows you to learn the Go programming language through actually writing code and submitting it and having our server run it to tell you if you've passed or not. And for all of this, I want to say that Go is great, but so is Zig and so is Rust. These are all great languages. I mean, I've always said you don't want to be the person that's like arguing about a language over the internet. That's the most virgin thing you can do. But really, like, all three of these languages are going to be phenomenal. If you get good at one, you're going to be a better engineer than you are before when you didn't know this language. I personally have actually had and expressed interest in learning either Zig or Rust, and that's something I continue to talk about over at my stream at twitch.tv/Melky. I'm still trying to find which one do I want to really dive deep in, Zig or Rust. I'm going to explore it. I'm going to do it live. But all that's to say is these are all great languages, so use them and have fun with them. That's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe on what you think about the video. What do you think of Mitchell Hashimoto's opinion on Go? What do you think about my opinion on his opinion? All links will be down in the description down below. If you like this video, make sure you click another one right there. It's probably going to be something Go related, something pretty cool, something that's happening in the world. I always talk, I always yap. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.